Coming up tonight on SLU News 22.
Wildfires in California.
Get ready for family weekend.
FIFA fraud.
Cards clinch.
Plus, national news and weather. Live from the Busch Student Center, this is SLU News 22.
Good evening, I'm Annie Eveker.
And I'm Abby Parra.
Thank you for joining us this evening. Following a disastrous 8.3 magnitude earthquake that struck coast of Chile last Wednesday, AIR, a catastrophe consulting firm, has released their estimates that insured losses will fall between $600 million and $900 billion US dollars. The quake was felt 3,000 kilometers away in Sao Paulo. So far, Chilean officials have stated that 12 have died as a result of the quake and tsunami, and over 1 million or more are estimated to have been injured.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has traveled with a group of high-ranking military advisors to Moscow to meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin to discuss Russia's involvement in the ongoing crisis in Syria. Russian military presence has increased since the rise of the Islamic State of Syria. Russia and Syria's President Bashar al-Assad have maintained a strong relationship over the years, and some analysts believe the move was to regain control of Syria for al-Assad. Meeting is closed to all media outlets. Israel has not become involved in the conflict with its international neighbor.
Chief Meteorologist Bobby Stilwell is in the Weather Center with us for our first forecast of the evening. So Bobby, how's it going?
It's looking great out there right now. The conditions are perfect. You can see right there, you've got 70s all across the area. Low exception to that 70s rule is Festus right now, sitting at 80 degrees. But it's clear skies, it's beautiful, perfect conditions out there to enjoy the start of a night. We are going to be getting down to 54 tonight. We're going to get down to 54 tonight, and I see we're having some technical problems right now. 54 tonight, clear skies. The weather story for this week is rain-free week, clear skies, and absolutely beautiful conditions during the day. So I'll have my full forecast after we get these technical problems sorted out, and now I'll send it back to you guys.
Thanks, Bobby. Deadly wildfires in Northern California have destroyed almost 1,600 homes and left at least 3 people dead. A burned car is being investigated as the source of officials believe the owner committed suicide by self-immolation. 19,000 have been evacuated as fire officials have stopped the fire's expansion. Droughts in the region have led to fast-traveling wildfires in the past several years, but this particular series has been controlled very quickly.
Since the Iranian Revolution, Iran's nuclear energy program has been accused of being in violation of treaties designed to stop the use of nuclear energy for military purposes. The International Atomic Energy Agency, an international organization that seeks to ensure all member states are abiding by the stipulations of nuclear treaties, conducted investigations in 2005 and last week into the accusations. In 2005, no violations were discovered, but the program was determined to have strong indication of nuclear weapons research. The IAEA agreed to revisit the nuclear energy site in 2015. Director General of the IAEA, Yukiya Amano, visited the site over the week and has said that they have made great progress in their investigation, which will be completed in December. This marks the first time that the IAEA was allowed to enter buildings at the Iranian complex. By being able to enter the building, the IAEA is able to further investigate the Iranian program.
Following migration waves from northern Africa into Mediterranean countries, Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban has proposed harsher border control for the European Union. Hungarian border forces are now authorized to use rubber bullets, tear gas, and net guns to stop migration flows into the country. Police are also authorized to enter residences and search for illegal immigrants. Prime Minister Orban's actions are in response to a proposal from the European Union to enforce quotas for member states, requiring them to take on increase in migration to Europe to elevate the burden on Mediterranean countries.
Former FIFA Vice President Jack Warner is being extradited from native Trinidad to the U.S. to face charges of corruption with 13 other former FIFA officials after receiving an indictment in May. Warner and the other officials stand accused of being of taking bribes, most notably over World Cup host countries. The accusation relates to an alleged $10 million from South Africa to elect them as the host country in 2010. Warner's trial is expected to begin Friday.
U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry announced plans to accept 85,000 refugees from Syria next year. In 2016, the refugees are fleeing Syria as a result of the years-long civil in which the group ISIS has attempted to seize control of the region from President Bashar al-Assad. Kerry's announcement has faced criticism from both sides. Opposing members are demanding more refugees to be allowed into the U.S., while other opposers cite claims that members of ISIS will use the opportunity to infiltrate the U.S. to recruit members and perform acts of terror on U.S. Kerry argues that finances limit the numbers in the U.S. can admit, and that the screening process has stopped acts of terror with Iraqi refugees in the past. Critics still express concern of the bureaucratic nature of the screening process. The U.S. has committed to accept 100,000 refugees in 2017. Coming up next, your SLU area news. A new partnership promises to bring more international scholars to SLU. The partnership is with the private firm Intro that is dedicated to the increased international access to education. SLU is the first Jesuit institution to form a partnership of this type. Since 2006, Intro has brought 60,000 students to the U.S. universities. SLU is now the 17th university that has formed a long-term partnership with Intro.
SLU's MICA program and local organization, New City Fellowship, began a partnership designed to integrate service and faith in the city. The mission of the partnership is to do, quote, deeds of justice and mercy, end quote.
SLU's Law School is expanding their programs to include a patent law degree. The law school's new program is working in conjunction with the Entrepreneurship and Community Development Clinic to include classes of intellectual property. The law school is hoping that the new program will provide startup companies in the region with strong lawyers in entrepreneurship fields.
Last Tuesday, St. Louis University hosted local St. Louis artist Karabi Bayok as he presented his art series, 365 Days with Dad, an exploration of African-American fathers in the city. Bayok is a native of the St. Louis area and gave a brief talk explaining that his series is, quote, for the kids, end quote. Bayok is giving a TED Talk at Harris Stowe University on November 7th.
A one-time inmate claims that he was jailed for 53 days for refusing to shake hands with his former jailer at a church event. Christopher Malloyd claims in federal lawsuit that he was sent back to jail after the jailer falsely accused him of violating his parole. The jailer, Thomas Trice, claims that Malloyd approached him with a clenched fist and appeared to be ready to attack him. Malloyd counters, saying that Trice approached him and offered his hand for a handshake. He refused, sparking a very loud, belligerent argument.
Missouri residents might be taking an unfair burden for Mississippi floodwaters. Some Missouri residents are claiming that the Illinois Levee District has illegally raised its levee, forcing flood waters onto Missouri residents. Affected Missouri residents are attempting to have the situation resolved, first with the Illinois Department of Natural Resources, before moving on to more serious organizations such as FEMA.
A fire was started on Saturday morning at 9218 Bent Pine Court in unincorporated St. Louis County, west of Grants Farm. The fire, starting in a covered parking garage, caused damage to 26 cars, totaling 8 of them. Deputy Chief Kent Snelson saved the neighboring buildings from being destroyed by using the master stream on the deck gun of one of the fire trucks. The cause of the fire is still unknown. However, lightning is suspected due to the storm that night.
SLU's 15th annual Social Justice Night will be tomorrow evening as Reverend Starsky Wilson speaks on the events of Ferguson after 1 year's time. The event, entitled Ferguson, 1 Year Out, will address the Ferguson Committee's report. Reverend Wilson is the chair of that committee and will speak starting at 6 p.m. tomorrow night at the John Cook School of Business.
SLU students, faculty, and staff are invited to gather at the Center for Global Citizenship this Saturday, September 24th, for the Pope II Congress Watch Party. The event will start at 8 a.m. with coffee and donuts, with the Pope scheduled to arrive at the Capitol at 8:20 and address Congress at 9. A presentation by SLU faculty members will take place following the papal address and will include time for discussion with the audience. The event is free and open to the public. However, registration is required.
St. Louis University will host its annual Homecoming and Family Weekend beginning Thursday, September 24th through Sunday, September 27th. The theme of this year's event is "The Billiken Rolls Out the Blue Carpet." Traditional weekend events include the annual golf cart parade, the SLU Fest Family Fun Area, and the Homecoming soccer game with fireworks display. For more information about the 2015 Homecoming and Family Weekend, including registration information, visit alumni.slu.edu/HCFW15.
Coming up next, your work week forecast. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Meteorologist Bobby Stilwell is here with us now for your extended forecast. So Bobby, how's it looking this week?
This week it's looking to be a pretty dull week for us meteorologists, but a great week for the general public. It's perfect temperature-wise. Everything's going to be so good this week. Right now here at SLU it is 78 degrees, mostly clear skies. That dew point at 58 is just perfect. That's where we want it for having fun outside. Light wind, and the pressure is 30.03 and falling. Across the region here, you can see we got cold air to our east, some cloudy skies down to our southeast, some warm air there out over Arkansas, and some mostly clear skies up in the Iowa area. And that warm air and clear skies, both of those items are going to come in, converge over St. Louis, and give us great weather all week long. And again, there's those clear skies. So low pressure system down over Georgia with some cloudy skies and some showers, but that's for them to deal with, not for us. And again, those clear skies are just going to be perfect this week. Tonight we're going to get down to 54 degrees, mostly clear skies. The winds are going to be calm. You will need a jacket if you're outside. I recommend one. Then again, though, it's your funeral if you get cold. We're going to get up to 81 tomorrow, mostly clear skies. Winds will stay calm, beautiful weather. And looking ahead to the 5-day now, you can see it's the same old stuff every day this week. Warmest week is Friday at 83, and the skies are going to be clear, and it's just perfect. You'll need jackets at night if you're hanging out outside in a hammock or something, but other than that, just beautiful weather this week. I love doing these type of forecasts.
Great. We love looking at them.
Yeah.
For this week.
It should be.
All right. Well, thanks, Bobby. Up next, a look into the world of sports and entertainment. Welcome back. The Maze Runner, The Scorched Trials, rocked the box office this past weekend, taking first place. The sequel earned an estimated $30 million. Black Mass, starring Johnny Depp, took second, earnings $23 million. The Visit dropped down to third spot. The Perfect Guy dropped from first to fourth, collecting $9 million.
The Billboard Top 100 was a week of big moves. The weekend's hit songs, Can't Feel My Face and The Hills, moved to first and second on the list, up from second and third last week. Last week's #1 hit, Justin Bieber's What Do You Mean, moved down to third. The rest of the top 10 remained the same apart from Ed Sheeran's Photograph, which moved up to 10th from 12th last week.
The 67th Annual Emmy Awards was a night full of firsts and glitz as Jon Hamm scored an Emmy for Outstanding Lead Actor in a Drama Series for Mad Men. The award for Outstanding Actress in the Drama Series went to Viola Davis, for first African American to win the award. Two of HBO's popular series, Game of Thrones and Veep, scored honors as well.
The Cardinals took home a win last night in a close race for the National League Central Division against division rivals, the Chicago Cubs. The Cardinals, who clinched a playoff berth over the weekend, are still hoping to maintain first place in their division. The Cards will take on the Cincinnati Reds, who they had issues with in their last series. Jamie Garcia will take the mound on who has 9 wins and 2 losses with an ERA of 2.52. The Cards are looking to maintain their division lead with the Chicago Cubs and the Pittsburgh Pirates closing the gap to first place.
87 of 91 former NFL players tested positive for a traumatic brain injury upon having their brains examined upon their death. Chronic traumatic encephalopathy, or CTE as it is commonly referred to, is a progressive degenerative brain disease that over time results in neural pathways being disrupted to parts of the brain. The NFL has taken steps to make play safer, including moving the kickoff spots 5 yards up and conducting assessments of players before the game, after hard hits during the game, and after the game is over. However, the study will not provide conclusive numbers until brains of players who do not exhibit symptoms of the CTE are examined.
The United Nations World Food Program has been working to provide food to 4 million people inside of Syria, as well as 1.3 million refugees in neighboring communities in the midst of the surrounding war. With issues in Syria becoming more serious, the WFP has been forced to scale back on the food being provided. In an effort to support these cutbacks, the WFP released a 30-second commercial to raise money for displaced families in the country, to which McDonald's has responded with a major support effort. The corporation has brought together a group of companies to provide assistance to the WFP in the fight to feed millions of Syrian refugees during this crisis. This effort is a huge step in providing hope and stability to all the people of Syria and its neighboring countries.
With crime on college campuses increasing throughout the years, a group of students from the University of Michigan took it upon themselves to help lower the rate of attacks. Companion is an iPhone and Android-friendly app that lets users track their friends as they walk alone. Features of the app include a siren to signal first responders to their danger, a calling feature that lets users call directly to police, as well as an alert to notify when the user has arrived safely. This app works both domestically as well as internationally. Well, Bobby, it's going to look like a great week out there, like you said earlier, but just to make sure, we're going to have sun all week, right?
Yeah, we're going to have sun all week. Homecoming weekend is going to go off without a hitch this year. Weather-wise, it's perfect. You can see Thursday, Friday, and Saturday for homecoming weekend. Clear skies, temperatures in the 80s during the day, getting down into the low 60s overnight. So you're probably going to need a jacket if you go to the soccer game or something like that. And then looking ahead into the weekend on Sunday, it's going to be the same as well. Great. So it's a really, dull week for meteorologists, but again, it's beautiful for the public. The public is going to love this week.
Well, everyone, I'm having my family visit, and I am very excited that they get to see St. Louis with such nice weather.
Definitely. You better take them up in the arch with this nice weather.
Well, it's my third year here, so they've been up there several times.
That's good.
Well, that's our show for tonight. Thank you for watching.
Don't forget, you can always get the latest movie reviews and news online at SLU.edu, or follow us on Facebook and Twitter. We'll be back here next week at 6 p.m.